Welcome to the podcast of disaster. I'm your host JCR1216, and joining me are my co-hosts.
Hello, I'm Jordan.
Hi, I'm Marco.
And I'm Funfoof the cartoon.
And we have a pretty interesting episode today, but before we get that, I will say it is nice to have Oko back on the podcast. I hope you're doing well, buddy.
Yeah, I am. It's been a while.
Yeah. It's also been a while since we've covered an IDW issue. It's definitely one of the more interesting issues, I will say, of this current arc, as we are 18 issues away from the 500 from 100 for IDW, which is kind of insane thinking about it. Like, it started in 2017, and now we're almost at 100. So 12. So in 2020, if I'm mathing correct, so next month is 83, then 85 would be 26. So yeah, in 2027 is when we're going to be getting IDW issue 100, or unless they're going to do multiple issue releases in the same month.
While you're talking, I'm going to actually do the math while I'm at it.
Yeah, because I'm kind of cooked today. I had to do a massive slideshow, but comics are like slideshows. Anyways, we get more on Lunar and how do you say Soleil?
Soleil.
Soleil.
It's like Soleil, like Cirque du Soleil.
Soleil.
Souffle Soleil.
Sure.
Sure. Why not?
So for a brief recap of the current story going on, Tails notices a missing Chaos Emerald. We see a coffin, which teases which has Chaos Emeralds in it. And then a Lunar from the previous issue, and we also learn at the end of the issue that Eggman is coming in what looks like an abomination of circusry.
He's being in the party.
Yep, that's definitely a recap.
Yeah.
In which the Chaos Emeralds has been going missing again, and more importantly, the fact that two of the Chaos Emeralds that were once held by Rouge and Tails respectively also went missing and were taken from under their noses, which had led to a search also involving certain parties here and there, and it has all culminated into them ending up in the city of Sequin, where one of the last of the Chaos Emeralds was to have been found, until during the citywide carnival, a master thief named Lunar has taken the Chaos Emerald, and Sonic, Tails, Shadow, and Rouge are all in pursuit of Lunar until Lunar escapes while Sonic and Shadow are doing the thing they always tend to do.
Kissing.
And Sonic and Tails do end up tracking down Lunar, but as it turns out, it's not who the Fox and the Hedgehog think it is. And that's pretty much where we come back to it, where we are introduced to not Lunar. We're introduced to Soleil the sugar glider.
Hey, that 10 times fast, Floof. I dare you.
Soleil. Easy.
Aqua took it for me.
I have two of my front teeth. I have like Timmy Turner level front teeth, so it's kind of hard to speak sometimes. I guess you could say Lunar eclipsed Soleil.
That is kind of a sense if you want to take a look at it. So in Sequin's old industrial district, that is where Sonic and Tails ended up finding Soleil, and Soleil's just a pretty big Sonic fan, as I'd assume most kids would be on their world, just like how a lot of us are in a sense.
Yeah.
And
I'm not a fan
we're
of
also
Sonic.
introduced. Oh, what was that?
I'm not a fan of Sonic, so not everyone.
Damn. Okay. Not everyone. I mean, we know that Surge has her. Respectable. Very respectable. Very, very. I was gonna say it's like we know is that like Surge also has her fans as well.
I'm also part of that group. I'm literally fan of Toxic Woman.
Yeah. But yeah, no. Soleil has been a very distant Sonic fan, as Soleil has been searching up online Sonic's appearances around the world, and a very funny thing that has come up in the form of the Sonic spotter community, in which it's like Sonic is like Bigfoot, but he's just like a very it's sort of like that, but it's in a very funny manner. It's like
have you seen this hedgehog?
It's like making a whole community looking out for just this one guy. Like it's not even like a mystical creature or anything. It's just a guy who's just like living his life.
App?
Wait, what?
The Jeremy Renner app.
That's a thing?
Who's that?
The guy who played Hawkeye in the Avengers apparently had an app dedicated to himself.
Oh.
Did someone actually made it, or did he actually made it for himself?
He made the app, and
That's funny.
yeah, so it kind of reminded me of that. I do like the neat little callback to Sonic pretending to be the Phantom Rider. I will say that the art in this issue is very, very cute.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was Gigi who do it.
Yeah.
They do a
Yes.
really good job.
Yeah, the artwork, both the pencils and the inks were all done by Gigi Dutre, who, if some of you do not know about Gigi, Gigi has worked on Sonic for a very long time than you may realize. Gigi worked with Evan on both of the Victory Garden stories. So the Victory Garden story from 2019 annual and the Future Growth story from 2022 annual. And Gigi has also done numerous covers and as well as written on Sonic all by themselves. They wrote the Shattered Diamond story for the 2024 annual, as well as did interior artworks for that one. However, this is not only Gigi's first time debuting in the mainline book in terms of the interior artwork, but also the fact that this is Gigi's first full-length issue. This is Gigi all the way through. And I know some people have said that the artwork is a bit off at times, but I do just genuinely think that it's Gigi's approach that they wanted to pencil it and ink it physically. So like all of the pages Gigi did are like physically done. Whereas I can assume that the colors that were done by Valentina Pinto were done digitally. But that's but that is why like the artwork looks the way it did. It's like Gigi's experimenting. At least I think they are.
Yeah,
I think
I know that.
I think
I
it still
mean,
looks good, and maybe as time goes on, they can improve.
Yeah, it's like Gigi has done it's like the physical painting covers that Natalie Haynes had done and such, and like a few other like things that some artists have done to experiment with their styles and whatnot. You know, like how Evan's been improving on drawing Sonic in her style. Gigi here, yeah, went with a physical approach and then digitally scanned it. Like I like it. I just like that just because of like the technical prowess behind it and all. And you know, some people will say that there could have been improvements, but I like the attempt. I do like the attempt. Yeah, some things could have been improved, but it's like I like the attempt, and I'm really happy for Gigi.
Yeah.
I really like the team members a lot. Like a lot. Like I think I'm one of amongst a few fans who like know the team's names by heart to like recognize their art styles.
I can
So
recognize
if
a few.
I
Like,
can definitely tell
like
for some of them. Like
But
for Gigi's stuff, like when Sonic's eyes, like Gigi has a very specific way of drawing eyes on Sonic. Like they have a really interesting way of doing it. It's like, oh, that's a Gonic. That's what I call a G Sonic.
Let's refrain from that because I don't want some people to get some ideas.
Oh, I'm not like that, Foof. Jesus.
Don't worry,
I
man.
will say-
Don't worry, man. It's fine.
Yeah. I will say Soleil does remind me of my little brother. Like, you know, like, oh, I know what Sonic is, yo. Like my little brother is like, so like I have accidentally bestowed Sonic onto my family, and yeah, and my parents hate me for it. I'm joking, but my parents love me, but you know what I mean.
Wow.
wow.
Yeah, no. Soleil does it's definitely the fact of like, oh, here's someone who is inspired by Sonic and has run into Sonic now and is like getting used to like being around Sonic. And I think it definitely started off really cute in that matter. And I do
I will. Oh, sorry.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I do say that Sonic's reaction to this paparazzi level app is saying that he's heard worse, and like that works as a joke and also a meta joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's actually very interesting, like the fact that a spotter community like exists for Sonic. I should have guessed something like that had occurred in the series or like in the universe, in their universe. It's like now it's like, oh yeah, it's very apparent now. But also interesting is I did want to comment on the fact that yeah, someone caught him as the Phantom Rider. That's that little picture there off in the corner. That's from '72 when his gear was malfunctioning because of Mimic. And yeah.
It'd be really funny that the person who posted that was like, "Oh my god, the Phantom Rider is Sonic," and everyone was thinking like, "No, that's fake, man. There is no way."
No,
That's
there's-
Eggman. That's Eggman's AI art, dude.
Man, yeah.
Yeah. I will say it's interesting
think
that we find out that Soleil is like the same age as Tails. Like
Uh,
height.
Not exactly. Actually,
Evan said that
it's-
they're a young thing. That Soleil was a
yeah.
young thing.
If anything, Soleil is the same age as Kit. if anything.
Oh, I thought Kit and Tails were the same age.
No,
They're
actually,
around.
that's actually no, actually. So there's a funny thing that Evan talked about when she was asked like what the ages for Surge and Kit were. So Surge is around Sonic's age. She did confirm that. But with Kit, it's a very special case where because of Tails' high intelligence, Starline thought that Tails was older than he was, not the fact that he was a child prodigy. So when Starline brought Kit along, it was the fact that it's out of age and maturity to match that intelligence with Tails, like the reflection. So Kit is actually a little bit older than Tails.
Huh, interesting. You learned
That's,
something new.
it's probably not by much, probably like 2 years or so.
Not
Yeah.
yeah, but it's like Kit is definitely like in between like Sonic and Surge and then Tails, like in that middle, and then Soleil also is in that middle as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, because yeah, we do also learn exactly like what's been going on with Soleil, what Soleil's relationship with the rest of the Celestial Troop is, and then also talking about another me, obviously when it comes to Lunar, and Tails pretty much just like comes up with not comes up. Tails comes to the conclusion about because of all the stress that Soleil's parents has been putting upon the rest of the family and such with all of their their routines and everything and all that. Soleil choked as everyone practiced. There's they're traveling performing act, and yeah, Soleil's parents had
Want
decided
perfection.
that Soleil would be out of the act, and yeah, a lot of it has just culminated into Lunar manifesting, subconsciously developing an alter ego. And of course, Tails says it's not a bad thing at all. It's just a thing. But not only
Yeah,
in the form of like Lunar manifesting, but also we get to see like Soleil's admiration for Sonic, which is cute. But it's like, yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah. And
So
then
Tails is also a therapist.
She literally
Even though
said
he's a
that
psychology,
psychology is his
psychology
forte.
isn't his forte, but it's like, good on you for trying, buddy.
What would the Sonic version of Sigmund Freud be?
Not, not in a kids franchise, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I will say that it is kind of as someone that has overbearing a little my parents don't watch it, so I can be a little bit honest. As someone that has a little bit of a overbearing parents, I totally get like that striving for perfection
Yeah, me too.
of the stress that Lunar, I mean Soleil is going through. It's very relatable, and I feel like Soleil is like one of the more relatable characters that we've seen introduced into IDW Sonic, at least recently, where it's like, oh, stress. Oh, that's a very human thing to feel.
Yeah,
And
and I know, and I do personally have friends who have like subconscious alters, and
I
like
do as
yeah,
well.
it's a thing. It's nothing's bad about it at all. It's just something that happens in some people's lives who, uh, you know, how because I'm not a therapist either. How would I say this? To
It's like flipping.
to,
It's like
to better regulate. I was gonna say to better regulate their flow of life, basically.
yeah.
That's what I'd say. Because I don't
The,
want to say anything that makes it seem bad or anything, but that's just the best way I can put it.
yeah,
As
that's probably the best.
from my own experiences of such.
It's basically, to me, it's basically a way for that stress to come out because it like Tel said, it's more like a way to rebel from from Soleil's parents. That's basically what Lunar is. And you can see later in the issue that Lunar is actually really protective of Soleil, so there's nothing really bad happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Uh,
But before that, we get to see the sugar gliders crash the party. I will say I do like the designs of the Jester outfits, and I do like the fact that that the plates kind of reflect the emotions.
yeah, each of them have like they all have the same sun motif, but each of them and they all have like the same outfit. But you do see the differentiation in their muzzles, their side fur, the side fur on their heads, their tails, uh, and also the eyes on their masks to differentiate them. And while unfortunately I can't exactly differentiate too many of them, I can tell who is who. But I did want to point out one thing that did caught my eye when the previews were coming out. When Tails was asking Soleil about the Celestial Troop traveling, Soleil was answering for Tails. Like they've all been to Central City, Seaside City, Sunset City, and then they had gone to Spagonia. And that is something that caught my eye because that sums up the rest of the Chaos Emeralds that went missing. So Tails had the Yellow Emerald from issue 68, from the Minecart Ravine adventure with this giant salamander. Rouge had the White Emerald from 2022 annual when she had stole it from the Mineral Museum in Rough Patch. And then the Purple Emerald was recovered from the heroes during Winter Jam, because that was the emerald that Orbot and Cubot had during their festivities. And then the Purple Emerald ended up in Sequin. However, the 4 other emeralds were still missing. But we also know that as of issue 80, they were recovered by this mysterious force who has the coffin with them. And
Probably so.
that sums up where the Celestial Troop has gone. One was in Central City, the other was in Seaside, Sunset, and then Spagonia. And for all we know, this mysterious force is possibly taking advantage of Lunar. And I can only assume what's going to happen in the next issue, but we are going to find out what that's all about. I mean, the next issue is the very last issue before things time jump into Frontiers.
Yeah. Where we get to see Bell Windows crash.
Oh, hush you, man. I do not want... I have a friend who will not like... Well, actually, maybe she'll find it amusing, but it's like, wow, great timing on that joke. But yeah, going back to what you were saying, yeah, the rest of the Celestial Troop. Which, thanks to this story, and also Evan Stanley, we have all of their names. Which, yippee for me! So, as we know from later on in the book when the Celestial Troop crashes the warehouse, Soleil's siblings, they're all named Yaw, Pitch, and Roll, which I found out are the axis angles of an airplane. That's what the name inspiration is. And then while they aren't said here in the story, we do know from Evan's Tumblr that the mother is named Perigee and the father is named Apogee. So we have the whole collective of them.
In real life.
No, they do exist actually. What they mean is basically
sound familiar.
the apogee is the farthest point between a satellite and Earth, and perigee is the nearest point between a satellite and Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I know I heard those words from somewhere, and thank you for recovering my 7th grade science class memories.
But basically that's spreading because of their child is literally named after the sun. So yeah.
Mm.
And we see their parents try to give me your phone and crack it.
Which
it was nice,
but
nice to see Sonic and Tails stand up and save their phone. That was nice.
Yes, of course. It's just yikes! Wow, didn't realize they'd go that far. But then Lunar shows up once again as soon as the entire family is all Ginyu Force, and they are very dramatic performers, which I can totally understand from Soleil's point of view. And that joke, that one joke with Sonic.
Remember, kid, Yuna, if you don't behave, Yuna will take your balls and your Chaos Emeralds.
Luna's the most powerful character. Luna can steal your balls.
Actually, take your balls.
Do you think Lunar would steal Lano Fish?
She doesn't have balls, right?
I think Lunar would.
No, don't steal it. Did you see the new Lano Fish?
Yes, I did see the new Lano Fish, but come on, man, we got a schedule to keep.
I do like the fact that the parents call Sonic the Corruptor of Youth.
Corruptor of Youth! Like, that isn't accurate to what's happening now in our real world.
Yeah. Oh my god, real world.
The Sonic brain rot.
I will say that, the issue started off strong, and it held its own for the most part. I will say that much. But we'll get to that in a second. We then cut to Shadow and Rouge going off of where they were last time, where Rouge got popcorned after messing with Tails, but Tails fought back, and then that was when Lunar escaped with the Chaos Emerald, so Shadow went off on his own, and Rouge just decided it would be best to wait to spot out Lunar, and Shadow wasn't really all for it. He wanted to take things to his, he wanted to take things up to, in his own initiative, which
basically being an edge lord, wanting to seek pride and all that.
It's like, I don't know. I get why Shadow is pretty stingy over the fact that a Chaos Emerald was stolen from Rouge of all people, and
Because it's right.
it's you know
Vegeta.
it's out of the fact that like of course he's concerned that someone was able to steal a Chaos Emerald from Rouge of all people, but I don't know. I just feel like Shadow could have like stuck around for just a little bit. I know he can be a bit impatient sometimes, just a bit. He's not entirely impatient, but it's like I don't know. It's just something. Anywho, the chase continues above the streets of above the rooftops of Sequin. Tails handles the siblings while Sonic handles the parents. And he does get ahead of them, thankfully. Ooh, that just reminded me. I'm gonna have to write something real quick when I get the chance to. And it does. And there is like a funny joke where it's like, "Ha, you would have got me if my nose was a tad longer." I don't know. I just find that very funny.
Yeah.
But yeah. But yeah. Then we go over to Sonic catching up with Lunar, which and this part this part here I really really like because it harkens back to what Evan said when 81 was coming out. Is that like Evan couldn't really like explicitly state if Soleil had DID or anything like that. Like just depending on if like the story like requires it or the fact Sega and specific labels and whatnot and specifications and such. It's like it's kind of a bit of muddy water. But I know that Evan also said that she didn't want to like villainize or antagonize that. And I think that this does it well. The fact that Lunar is protective of Soleil, as we were talking about earlier. I like that. I really do like this part. Like, yeah. Like again, the book was the story was it was holding its own. It really was. A shame that it didn't last longer because of the which I think it's a crane. Is it a crane that they fell off of?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
I
crane
think
they
it
fell
might
off
have
of.
been a crane.
Yeah. And yeah, and I like these next 3 pages here that I'm looking at right now. It's like Sonic
That's the
Sonic
thing.
talking with Lunar, the fact that everything that Lunar has learned from Soleil is learning, Lunar being protective, Soleil coming back, and unfortunately, like, despite the fact that Soleil was trying to like recover from the fall, they couldn't because well, I'm
Got
getting
hit.
reminded of 68 where Tails is hit with the debris and Sonic tries his best to save him, and then we have and then Soleil goes off of Sonic trying to approach the Sugar Glider and the spin dash. The
Yeah,
spin dash.
he copied
Yeah.
Sonic.
Soleil
Yeah,
did
I
a spin
really-
dash. Like I love that because that still is like being inspired by Sonic and everything. It's yeah.
Yeah, because Sora was practicing a lot, like practicing a lot of Sonic's moves and being inspired by him, and then finally getting to see how Sonic does it up close, and then Sora just gets it the first try. That actually shows how impressive the kid is, because how can you do that? How can you replicate a move just by seeing it?
And
Genetic memory.
Sonic was down to like compliment Soleil on the attempt, and that's great. But then it's like, eh. And it's like yeah, those 3 pages are like I really like how it all went. I really like that. But unfortunately, I have to remind myself that this is IDW Sonic. And as much as I love this comic to death, there has to be a flaw somewhere, right?
Yeah.
One day we'll get. One day, I mean, I'm sure some people will tell you like what a 10 out of 10 IDW Sonic comic is, but really depends on people's point of view. But yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I can.
Most people on my timeline though agree that the mom is hot. So
All right.
anyways,
Yeah.
but anywho,
Then Soleil's parents appear and start arguing, with Soleil, and Soleil stand up for himself for once.
but also ha 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 ha, but also ha ha.
Okay.
Both parents in Sonic blasphemy.
Incredible.
oh yeah, both parents. Take that cream.
Anywho, but Apogee and Perigee do catch up with Sonic and Soleil, and they it's
And Soleil starts explaining that he doesn't want to do acrobatics. That he wants to do his own thing, his own
well, it's
acrobatics,
not
and
that.
not be perfect.
Soleil doesn't dislike it, but it's like
But he just doesn't want to do perfect thing like them. He wants to do his own thing, his own acrobatics and stuff like that.
Soleil wants. It's
spice it up.
learning from
The
Sonic and
original.
everything. It's like Soleil's trying out new things, and Soleil really wants to show Apogee and Paragee like what Soleil can do from that. Which again, I totally understand about exactly like what's like I totally get I totally do get is like with Sonic there, Soleil is given the chance to uh you know stand up
Get
and
the courage
yeah
to not forget his for not yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. Yeah. But
and
I like the fact that they do stand up and talk to like trying to have a talk to your parents about something as heavy as wanting to break away from what they've done. That's a very difficult task. It kind of reminded me of Elemental, the Pixar movie, where it's like Ember doesn't want to inherit the shop and like or and like wants to like do something different. It's kind of like that, but like like making your own thing. Adding a pinch of hot sauce to your potato to your mashed potatoes.
ooh, and it appears that I'm seeing now that oh, sorry. I just got word that Evan actually rewrote the entire scene with Shadow and Rouge following notes from Sega Japan. Huh, good to know. Um, but like, yeah, it's like, um, and Apogee definitely seemed very adamant about the reputation of the family, and then Perigee, she takes off her mask and is like, I thought that they would have taken things seriously, like of course the Perigee's the mother, she's gonna she's gonna try and like hear her children out and such. Uh,
Yeah, and I do
but
like that.
then I
It kind of reminded
thought
me of
that was
Jesse
going
and
to happen,
James from
right?
Team Rocket if they
But
had
then
kids.
but then it's but then it's like they keep up their performing act, and
Yeah.
and then I see Soleil's reaction. It's like, oh, this is normal, because like again, I pointed out that they're very dramatic performers from what it looked like, but it's like, I don't know. I just think this. I don't know. This is like I was saying I was saying like the story started off strong and it held its own, right? And I don't know. And like halfway through, I thought that things were going to be taken a little bit seriously. Like Apogee and Perigee would have they would have heard Soleil out, and they could have been hesitant a bit. I know that's what I thought Perigee was looking like on her face and such after taking off her mask. Um, and I thought that they would be hesitant at first, but then they would try to see like like they could like try it out, like hear Soleil out and see if it really does make their child happy, then they could see what would happen. But they again. I guess I can get it. The fact that they're dramatic performers, the circus troupe, everything, and all that. Like they immediately realized their mistakes, but in a very um what was that word?
Theatrical.
Very
Theatrical.
yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Yes,
affirmative.
in that manner. And like I guess I can see like where that was going from, but I feel like I don't know. I just feel like it could have been more of a slow burn. Like Apogee and Perigee, like I just don't know if they could have you know um went all out and realized their mistake that quickly. Again, I would have thought that they'd be hesitant to consider Soleil's plea. And then we know, as we know, that Shadow comes in and
And literally beats up a child.
Again.
Yeah,
yeah,
justifiable shadow slander. Lord M's favorite part of the podcast.
I mean, each shadow is always gonna do something that make him edgy and popular and stuff like that.
like
Yeah.
I get it, I really do. And then I would have thought that if Apogee and Perigee would have taken things seriously, I would have thought that they would have put the reputation of the troop aside to make sure that Soleil is safe from Shadow. I would have thought that that would happen, as well as the next issue also expanding a bit on that to where they do allow Soleil the chance to show what Soleil is capable of after learning from Sonic, especially knowing what we know of at the end of this issue. But I don't know, and I think a lot of people also have the same feelings, that I don't feel like they would have wrapped it up this quickly. I feel like it could have taken both this issue and the next issue.
Hopefully.
Yeah. That's very interesting. Shadow putting hands on a child, especially this is like post Shadow gens. the Shadow Gens took place at the same time as Sonic Gens. I don't feel like
no, Shadow Gen happened before the Metal Sonic arc, the new Metal Sonic.
Oh. Well, it's just interesting just to see Shadow put. I understand Shadow, you know, beats the ever-loving shit out of Tails, but it's like seeing him, like I'm not a big fan of that, but just like seeing him put a hand, actually put force on a child is kind of nuts.
I mean,
he could have just taken the emerald like Rouge did. Like he could have just taken the emerald like Rouge did.
I mean, he actually did, so.
He saw style, he couldn't let it slide.
Mm-hmm.
So it ends off with Rouge getting the purple one, and then we see the giant off-brand Pixar ball drop down.
Well, hang on, we still have a few beats to talk about. But yeah, no. Apogee and Perigee and Sonic are doing what they can to make sure that Soleil is safe. Tails managed to get through to the rest of the siblings.
Tails just has
I wish
psychology at this rate. Tails has a PhD
I wish we could have seen some of that. I wish it didn't have to be like off camera, off page. I wish we could have saw that, but oh well.
Shows them a Darman video.
He's doing a Pacific run.
And then Sonic and Shadow have a bit of a they go running about doing their thing again, more of the same of what we've seen before. But then Rouge comes in, she takes the emerald, and Shadow quits it with Sonic because now that Rouge has the emerald back. Well, now that Rouge has the Chaos Emerald in her possession, like Shadow's just he's just going to be standoffish. And even Sonic says, talk about anticlimactic. And then Apogee and Perigee make sure the Soleil is okay, and then now you can say a JCR.
The giant off-brand Pixar balls drop. There's a lot of balls in this issue.
It's a balls arc.
Can't believe you make note of that.
We all love balls here at the Podcast of Disaster.
But yes, the story ends off with Eggman finally arriving in Sequin, and in his, as we know from the solicitation of the next issue, the Egg Juggler, along with Buzz Bombers, Egg Pawns, Pyros, and the whole slew of Badniks he's brought with him. And oh no, a party. Because
Eggman throwing a birthday party sounds like a Sonic Boom plot.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I also like this little thing Gigi drew of Eggman.
But that's where issue 82 ends off. And I don't really have many afterthoughts. It's just I pretty much did say what I wanted to say about the parents and such. Everything that had been happening with Soleil, it's the point that Lunar manifested as a result. It was supposed to be taken seriously as part of the story situation, but the fact that it wraps up that same issue, I just would have thought that, it would have had both issues to work on, and it would have been a slow burn for Apogee and Perigee to, take in what Soleil has to offer. Could have given Soleil a chance, and again, we know that they're going to fight Eggman in the next issue, and I feel they can't, during the fight, they give Soleil a chance to show what their kid could do, and then choose to go along with it if it makes Soleil happy. It'll take some time to get used to, but they'll all work on it together as a family. And I would have thought that, again, taking both of the issues to pan out the situation between Soleil and the rest of the family, I just don't think it would have been a we support you 110%. I just think it would have been let's give this a shot for you with the whole celebration form and everything. It's people have a lot to say when it comes to this story. I've been seeing fans say they didn't like it just because they thought Shadow was pointless in this story, and it's more of the same of what we've already seen from him. A lot of fans didn't like it that Apogee and Perigee made up for their treatment of Soleil at the drop of a hat, which, I totally understand. But then fans liked it for Shadow and Rouge's moments that they had, and fans liked it because Lunar wasn't treated as a bad side to Soleil. Lunar wasn't treated as a bad side to Soleil, and that the two could coexist. I've seen mixed reception from comic stories before with IDW Sonic, but this one is right down the middle mixed. And it's a shame that I have to feel like this after all of it.
Yeah, that's definitely something. I do find Soleil sort of relatable with the stress of trying to follow a certain set of rules that are kind of hard to follow. Trying to be perfect at all times with being unsure. Yeah, I do agree with you. The fact that the parents immediately going like, oh, okay, let's just do the right thing. Who knows about the time? Like, if since this was a two-parter, I would have put that scene before the fight with them encouraging. You know, you know what I'm trying to say.
Would have put it after they fight Eggman at the very least.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. Overall, though, I will say that I had a decent time with this. It definitely had some good laugh. It had a couple good chuckles. It was really interesting to have a new background character, new like
New
group
people.
that a new one-off group because we haven't gotten that in a minute.
Mm-hmm. No,
Overall,
I am happy that Soleil and the Celestial Troop are here. It's like it's the same way of how I felt with like the kids from Seaside City from the Chaotix Halloween special. Um, Rowdy, Herschel, Brady, and Noah. It's like you have all of these like little one-off characters that are from these little towns and little cities around Sonic's world. And it's like they come into Sonic's life fleeting, but they did. Uh, yeah, it's nice to see new characters and such. But it's just like yeah.
yeah.
Overall, it was a nice reading
Overall,
and
yeah,
a
I
decent
would
episode.
overall give this issue maybe a 7, a 6, or a 6, 7 out of 10.
I would,
You
I
did
would,
not.
yeah, he did. I would definitely give
It's
it a 3 out of 1 million because Shadow is in it. You know.
I give it a 6. I'm actually more positive about it. I did like a lot. I did like a few things like Soleo and the fact that Lunar is very protected of Soleo. Um, actually kind of like the Shadow touches Rouge with the Emerald, but not Sonic. I just think that's funny. Um, and even though I do think that it was rushed how the whole situation with Solo's parents was resolved, I think what kind of makes up for it is how overly dramatic they were about it. That kind of makes I don't know. I just think doing it that way, even if it's rushed, it's like oh, okay, okay, it's like we kind of having a little bit of fun with it.
hmm.
But overall, I still think the whole thing was kind of rushed, and I guess it kind of just depends on what happens next time. But I think 6 out of 10 is what it is for me.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I'll honestly give it like a 6, 6.5 ish. Um, there were some things I wish that were done a little bit better, obviously. But overall, I've been having a decently solid time with this little arc before we get on to the lead up to 100. Blue, what is your overall rating of this issue out of 10?
I don't want to rate it. I'm not that kind of person when it comes to the IDW Sonic
Okay.
comics.
How many
But
blaze the catfishes out of Lano fishes would you give it?
you know what? It's the I will I'll give for the fact that we got the rest of Soleil's family and like the rest of the Celestial Troops names. The art was great from Gigi, just because I liked their attempt at again drawing everything physically and then all of that leading it into the digital artwork and such. It's like I really like the attempt. I hope Gigi improves upon it as well. And I will some of the jokes were funny and that final image, the final page of the egg juggler is awesome. I the reception is mixed, right down the middle, as I said. So like 5.5. You know what? I'll say that. Like it could be better, and I don't want to like judge anything until the rest of the arc is out. So I know I have to wait until next month for 83, but
Christmas Eve, actually.
Oh, nice. Well,
but like
Lunar and Soleil are based on nights, so I guess that's appropriate.
yeah, it's yeah. It's a fine story. It's not the worst story that's been put out. Just it could use a little bit more work. However, I am starting to think that again because Evan did say that the interactions between Shadow and Rouge were changed going off of notes from Sega, and she goes to say that every line in that page was rewritten. So I have the slightest feeling that some of Sega's peddling is kind of a bit of a problem, and um I know, we all know that Sega has their mandates for a reason. We know. I mean, you look at the past of the Sonic comics and you can get why. But
RG Wind, new on Fridays, coming soon.
thanks for turning thanks for turning my rambling into promotion. But it's like, yeah, I feel like some things could definitely be improved by Evan, but also the fact that it was probably out of her control anyways. I mean, the fact that we're even getting the stage is set arc, like as a short 3 issues, I kind of have a feeling, and some people have pointed out too in other servers, that the theory that a bunch of IDW's plans ended up being crammed because Sega wants them caught up with Frontiers, those people might be onto something. I'm not going to say that that's the case unless someone says something, but maybe things could have been better if it was a 4-issue arc. It's why I'm kind of wondering, like, why is the post Frontier starting? It could have been after 85. I guess I just I guess now I'm now just kind of questioning why 84 specifically. And it's like, was some of the stuff rushed to
Sonic rushed?
I don't want to admit, I don't want to say if it felt like it was rushed, but it's like, Evan's done great work on the series. I love her work, I really do. But I don't want to see like, her work as okay. She can do really cool things. I just don't want it to like should be just like, oh, okay. Because like I've been seeing some people say it's like, oh, this is about as the Rangers like misadventures and such, or like the Adventures Await arc or something like that. And it's like, I don't know. I just know a lot of us know that Evan can do better. But I also don't want to say that she can do better because like she has done better. I'm just at a weird impasse with myself at the moment about how I want to go about this. So you know what? I'm just going to leave things as they are now, and we'll just wait around until issue 83 so we can have the collective thoughts of the whole arc. I don't want to assume
make sure to put milk and cookies out for when that happens, because it'll be Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I don't want to assume this early. And I know that Evan does take in the criticism. She does take in criticism where it's due, but it's like, I don't know, guys.
I can tell you one thing we can assume is that this episode is over. As always, thank you for watching the Podcast of Disaster. As always, be good to yourselves, others, and mothers, and we will see you next time. Thank you so much. Once again, thank you, Oko, for, I hope you enjoyed, this, being part of this recording.
Yeah, it was fun.
I'm sorry for the constant rambling. I just had a lot to say because, like, everyone else had a lot to say about this issue. I know, I was just talking about it earlier, is that, Oko had a few things to say online about the issue when it was happening.
Yeah. I got very popular on it.
Yeah, I hope I didn't take too much of your time.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Nobody had much tonight.
Alrighty then. Well, I guess that's that, folks. Thanks for tuning in when you can, and hopefully 83 goes off with a bang. And that bang is the Egg Juggler.
Yeah. Bye, fellas.
Oh, see ya.
Bye.